consequences. Consequences. Therefore, if you want them to do something for you, and they do it, we gotta do something for them. What y'all talking about?
Storytelling has always been a part of our native African traditions, and this story is a humorous one, and it's one about karma. And most of all, this story is in libation and in tribute to a great man turned great ancestor, Dr. Derek Wilson. So I tell this story in libation, in honor, in gratitude. I attended Prairie View A&M University, and during that time, Dr. Wilson was my psychology professor. But see, I had a long history of being the thorn in my teacher's side. I was good for challenging my professors, good for challenging my teachers, but with Dr. Wilson, I most definitely met my match. When I took his class, I must have done everything I could to drive him up the wall. Asked every question I could possibly ask, challenged every piece of information, and it wasn't in a negative way. It was just in a really challenging kind of way. But see, I forgot this was a psychology professor.
Yes, you did. So anyway, that's how you get people in trouble.
But here's how he got me back. Years down the line, Dr. Wilson invited me to serve as a guest teacher or guest lecturer in his honors psychology classes, the same one I took. Coming and teaching the guest lecture was my homecoming, and it sure felt good to come home, thanks to Dr. Wilson. I even had a faculty office for the day. That was pretty nice. And so many words, he put me in his shoes.
Yes, Ashley kind of revealed a little bit.
About what?
About tell you something. I'm bringing somebody to you. And Miss T, you know you probably need one. Cause you just don't look back. You know what I'm talking about. Cause you probably leave your life. Yeah, you leave your life behind. So anyway,
the subject was numerology, and in plugging in African spirituality and psychology.
So give your undivided attention. Dialogue, conversation. Be open to discussion. Because I have to. She know why. She already knows why. Be open to the discussion or understanding of religion and spirituality and what else we may get from this for the end of this class.
When I was in undergrad, I still considered myself Christian. So when us students would huddle up and talk about our professors, we'd be like, when Dr. Wilson's name came up, we would say, oh, well, he's not a Christian. And then one of the other students said, I think he practices Yoruba. And we were all like, you're a what?
So, Miss Ayansa, the floor is yours.
Why, thank you. So, how's everyone doing this afternoon? My name is Ayansa J. Muse. I am a divinatory, visual, and literary artist. but we're going to focus on the divinatory part today. I am what African spirituality calls an Orisa. I am an Orisa.
So here I am at the front of this classroom, and I'm looking at all the little me's from 10 years ago come sitting in the classroom. I was so nervous. My stomach was turning. I had butterflies, but Dr. Wilson believed in me, and that helped me to believe in myself and standing in front of all of these students and actually teaching a lesson.
I am an alum of Prairie View A&M University, graduated in 2009 with 1 degree in theater arts and the other in mass communications media study. My 9 to 5 is divination. Divination is a read. I'll put it to you this way. I used to laugh at Miss Cleo, and now I have her job.
We spoke about ancestors.
I'm here to share some information with you about African spirituality, about various forms of belief and religion. I'm curious. What are some of the things that people have heard about people who do readings and African spiritualities?
Witchcraft.
Okay. Witchcraft.
It's false.
Black magic is false. Okay. Anyone else? So the first thing that I'm going to start with is paying homage to the ancestors. Is anyone familiar with that? We pay homage to our ancestors through libations. And you'll see a lot of people in African spirituality and in African faith either pour water on the ground or pour water in a plant. And one of the most common forms of a libation is when the homies pour out liquor. I know everyone's heard of pour out a little liquor. We're going to pour some for the homies. That's where that came from.
We spoke about the Orisa.
African spirituality is still a monolithic faith. It's still a belief in one supreme God with many heads, with many faces. So a common misconception of African spirituality is that, oh, you all are worshiping all these different gods. Not so. Actually, the name for the supreme in African spirituality is Oludumare. Yes.
Some places somebody said Oludumare may be seen as the omnipotent one.
Yes, the omnipotent one, absolutely.
And the students were getting numerology reads one by one.
Whoever had a reading, none of y'all raised y'all hands. I said, who would get one? Everybody was like, now.
All right. So I want to talk about using numerology. Who's familiar with numerology? What's numerology?
Today for your final exam, I've been given the honor and the privilege to give each and every one of you a piece of your own unique cosmic design based on your date of birth and just your numbers. Okay? Okay, so let's get to our first numerology report. Now, the overview of numerology is that it's a universal language. Our verbal English languages may change all over the world, but anywhere you go in the world, 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 and 2 is 4. But a lot of people have missed the divine essence and the divinatory aspects of numbers, and we're going to explore those today. And what your life path number is your spiritual social security number.
But here's the thing. I thought he was going to stand at the front of the classroom with me, and we would kind of teach the lecture together.
Yes.
What are we supposed to do?
No, just either yes or no. That's all.
Oh, they were waiting on me to proceed.
But as the lecture went on, I noticed that Dr. Wilson eased further and further away from the front of the classroom.
Roman era. That's what they're speaking of, the Greek and the Roman era during that time.
Need a dry erase marker.
You know what?
Until he just walked to the back of the classroom and sat down, throwing me to the wolves.
What's everybody laughing at?
And when those students got to challenging me, baby, I'm looking at him like, help. He's looking at me like, get some.
As fast as I can, okay? Okay. Write that down now, honey. That's what that piece of paper is for. Everything I just gave you, write that down and keep it in your notebook. Oh, not everybody at once.
Your life path number is 3.
My name and my birthday.
Yes, just your name and your date of birth. But your challenge is being too practical. Sometimes you can be so analytical that you don't give the spirit world room to bob and weave. Fold it in half. Anyone else need a sheet of paper?
So pretty much, Dr. Wilson left me to experience the exact same thing that I had put him through years before. He's sitting at the back of the classroom with this real interestingly satisfied look on his face, looking like the cat that swallowed the canary. And I realized that I had just been got.
Next. She's next, and then you were third, and then you were fourth, and then I line up the next four.
Was that what you were going to say?
This is a different kind of a spiritual math class, if you will. So
But know this, whether you're Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, even African spirituality, there's not one faith on the face of this planet that has not been touched by the hands of corruption.
I'm kind of a cave woman. Help me here. Any questions so far?
Who else would like one?
Learned a very valuable lesson. Never cross a psychology person. They know how to get you in the best ways, even though it took years.
Okay. Why is it important for you to know your cosmic design? Because no matter what faith you practice, the more you understand about yourself on a spiritual level, the better you can thread your piece of thread into the tapestry of the universal whole.
And when the class was over, I walked up to Dr. Wilson and I asked him, I said, Doc, I wasn't that bad in undergrad, was I? He just looked at me and chuckled, but he didn't answer the question. And as Dr. Wade Noble said, sometimes your best students are the ones that give you the hardest time. And as we all know, educators continue to educate long after their earthly time. And I want to take this opportunity to make sure that you are continuously educated by Dr. Derek Wilson. It's stories like these that not only keep the memory of our ancestors alive, but it keeps their memory lively. What were your memories? Flesh them out in detail. Post them on your social media so that everyone that knows you and everyone that knows your children will know that there was a great man, a great professor, a great friend, someone who was very serious about the mental and spiritual wellness of our people, named Dr. Wilson. And this, brothers and sisters, is how we keep the memories of our ancestors alive and well.